This video is just asking a simple question. Are you really about that life? The life that you say you're about. So, and that can be any multitude of things, but we're just going to focus on the dating game for right now. So, there's a lot of girls out there just like, I'm tired of nice guys. I want a thug. I want a roughneck, which is fine if that's what you really want. But I just want, a lot of women to ask yourself, are you really about that life? Because it seems like most of the girls that really want thugs are not necessarily from the streets. So it's like, do you know what that life entails? Are you really about your husband or boyfriend or significant other being in and out of jail? Are you really about being there, being his shoulder to cry on when his friends are being shot and killed? And if you are, great. I mean, there's plenty of them out here. Go for it. But just ask yourself, are you really about that life? And vice versa, the girls that are about that life that want a nice guy. Do you really want a nice guy? Like, are you really ready to give up some of your ways that might not necessarily be compatible with a nice guy? He's not, he's not into that. He's not about that life. He's not a thug. He's not, probably not what you're used to living in the hood. So just ask yourself, are you really about that life? And the same thing goes for guys. I don't know about this new trend, but guys are like, yeah, I want me a ghetto girl. Like, are you sure? Because you're the same guy that's saying, you don't like it when girls are loud and, acting crazy in public. But I mean, that may or may not be what you get when you get this ghetto girl that you've been seeking. At the same time, a lot of thugs want to settle down with, the quote unquote nice girls. But they might not understand your lifestyle or the things that you are into. So just ask yourself, are you really about that life? I mean, I've just been seeing a lot of things, Facebook, Twitter, even up at Michigan State, just really interesting perceptions on love and dating. Which brings me to my next point, standards. I just feel like as a unit, as the youth, Generation X, I feel like standards have kind of gone out the window for us, which is sad to say because most of us are somewhere between the ages of 18 to 25, somewhere around about that age. But it's just like, oh, your standards are too high. You can't find a guy that has potential and is gonna have a nice job and a nice car and be faithful and look nice. But I think that's false. I think you have to keep your standards high, and when you settle, it just brings us down as a unit. So I say, never stop looking for love, and don't settle for anything less. And I feel like people are settling within themselves as well. As far as people that are in college, just settling for the lower grade because they don't want to put the work in. And I think that it just carries on to so many aspects of life. When you're cleaning, when you're doing homework, when you're looking for a mate, just once you start settling in one area of your life, you begin to settle in all others, and then you get to be 45 and 50 and wonder why your life isn't where you thought it would be by now, because you spent the last 30 years settling. And that's what happens. That is what has happened time and time again throughout the history of the human race, and it will continue to happen if we continue to settle. So I would say keep your standards high. If you have low standards, don't lower them anymore, would be my best thing. So wherever you are, whatever you want, just make sure that A, you're really about that life, and B, that's really what you want, because a lot of times you get in these situations and what you thought you wanted is not necessarily what you wanted at all. So just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into and keep your standards high. And this has been the Bree Show.